Good evening. We present the news summary. President Wavel Ramkalawan led a delegation on a visit to the Wash Kaima Sports Complex this morning. The purpose of the visit was to get first-hand information on renovation works taking place at various sporting sites within the complex. They began their visit at the Palais de Sport before moving on to the tennis courts. They also visited Stade L'Unité, Paradise Arena, and concluded at the NSC Hall. Over the past 3 years, 58 million rupees have been invested in sports facilities at the Wash Kaima complex. President Ramkalawan welcomed the IMF delegation at State House this morning. The delegation is on its fourth visit to Seychelles after the latest agreements between the two sides. The head of the delegation, Todd Schneider, said that Seychelles continues to progress even though there are international uncertainties.
We're here for the fourth review of this 3-year program. We have 2 more to go. And I'm happy to say that in the course of our discussions with the government, we reached what we call staff level agreement. So the targets have been met and the reform measures that we've been working on are either very well advanced or already completed. So subject to review by the IMF's executive board, we expect to make a loan disbursement of equivalent to about $13 million in June. Seychelles continues to do reasonably well. Growth was a little bit lower last year than we expected. We estimate now about 2.9%. Of course, we don't have the official numbers. Those will come out at the end of the year. And that reflected some dampening of tourist arrivals. For this year, I think probably the issue is how global developments are going to impact Seychelles directly and indirectly. And I think in terms of the direct impact, probably since we're looking at downward revisions to global growth and certainly with some of your key tourism markets, there'll be some dampening effect on tourism. But it's very difficult to say exactly how much, right? Because as I say, developments keep changing. But for the year ahead, we're projecting currently real GDP growth of about 3%, which is takes into account very conservative assumptions about tourist arrivals and tourist spending.
Vice President Ahmed Afif met with the Smart Africa's management team to discuss collaborations between Seychelles and the Alliance. The Alliance focuses on the development of information and telecommunications technologies on the African continent. Smart Africa CEO Lassina Kone said she hopes Seychelles will join the Alliance.
Most of the report shows that the indices are being very green in terms of Seychelles, in terms of ICT, internet, information and communication technology. So we first talk about that, how the rest of the African continent, really, countries can actually learn from that speed of executing a structured project within the government. And the second thing also is to invite Seychelles as an African country to join Smart Africa Alliance, which is made of more than 40 countries today, created 11 years ago. And the third thing was is really to see how can also the government of Seychelles can help in terms of the internet governance in general, which actually looks after the sovereignty of the entire continent and the sovereignty of each individual country, because the internet governance is the main important thing that can actually build a trust and transparency for African countries to be credible on the international area.
The Council of Ministers has approved several proposals to update the election law, aiming to modernize the process and ensure fairness. Among the key proposals are changes to voters' registration methods and measures to facilitate voting for people with disabilities, amongst others.
Changes in the election laws include allowing people to register online or by phone to be able to vote, the use of different types of ID documents, facilitate voting for people with disabilities, and the use of technology in the voting process. As for the parties, the proposed rules include making party operations more transparent, the introduction of fees to register a party, and proposals requiring parties to share more information on their activities and finances. There are also proposals to carry out changes to the Environment Act of 2016. The updates will add more offences, including illegal dumping on private properties and raising fines from 500 to 2,000 rupees. Cabinet has also proposed changes to the Immigration Decree of 1981. This will allow people with passports from countries that Seychelles doesn't officially recognize to enter and leave the country without it meaning Seychelles is formally recognizing those countries. The Cabinet has also agreed for Seychelles to join the International Partnership for Information and Democracy. It is meant to show the country's support for freedom of speech, media independence, amongst others. Cabinet has also approved new policies to help hire and keep local workers in Seychelles' small-scale fisheries sector. Finally, government has given its approval the Seychelles National Credit Accumulation and Transfer System. The system recognizes transferring learning credits from different types of education.
The Minister for Local Government and Community Affairs, Rosemary Waro, with the MNA for St. Louis, Satya Naidu, reopened the St. Louis Community Center this afternoon. The community center closed its doors and went through a major renovation in 2023. According to Minister Waro, the renovations cost 1.1 million rupees.
On the ground floor, we have created a games room, a place where laughter, friendly competition, and community bonds will grow. Here, the residents of St. Louis will be able to enjoy table tennis, play a game of darts, or perfect their chess skills, a sport for which St. Louis is already well known. But it's more than just games. This room will be a meeting point, a space for all generations to share experiences, learn from one another, and grow stronger together. Upstairs, we have a multi-purpose hall that will serve as a hub for workshops, community meetings, training sessions, leisure activities, and so much more. Perhaps most exciting of all is the addition of the new IT Center, a space designed to empower our youth with the tools of tomorrow. Equipped with modern technology, this space will allow young people from St. Louis to connect to the digital world. Used correctly, this can be of great benefit for those wishing to self-develop. This center will be managed by one of our key partners, the Seychelles National Youth Council, SNYC, ensuring that our youth have access to the resources they need to excel in the digital age.
This was the news. Thank you for your attention.